What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're getting into the new set Stellar Crown with the deck I'm the most excited to play, which is Galvantula EX. I've been waiting for this card for a little while now, and I think it's just so interesting. Having the ability to item lock is always really broken. And so, really what we're looking to do is utilize its second attack, which does 180 damage for 3 different energy for grass, electric, and a fighting energy. It'll do 180 damage, and then you discard all the energy from this Pokemon, and then during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. This is really powerful. We know that item locking is super strong. We've seen it with things like Banette EX and things like the Venomoth. So we see how powerful that effect is, but we've never seen it hit for so much damage, and I think that this is going to be really powerful. The best way to do this is combining it with Blissey for the Happy Switch, where we're going to be able to move energy from our Blissey onto our Galvantula, just to make it a little bit easier to repeatedly power that up. One of the other new cards as well is the Glass Trumpet, where what you can do is you can only play this card if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, which if you have your Galvantula, you can do, and then you choose up to 2 of your bench normal Pokemon and attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of them, which means if you have 2 Blissey out on the field, you can move 2 of your discarded energy from the discarding off the Galvantula onto those Blissey. You can then Happy Switch them back onto the Galvantula and then manually attach an energy for the turn, and then just go from there. One of the other things that we run is the Sparkling Crystal, where when this is attached to a Terra Pokemon, the attack cost is 1 energy less, and that can be of any type, so that makes it even easier. We also have the Powerglass to make it a little bit easier to repower this, so discarding all the energy doesn't really affect us all that much. We also run a copy of Crispin, where what we're able to do is search your deck for up to 2 basic energy and of different types. You can reveal them, put one onto a Pokemon, and then the other one goes to your hand. So again, just ways to energy accelerate as quickly as possible is really key with this deck, and we want to make sure that we're getting into that as fast as possible. So that's really the cornerstone of the strategy. I think this card is going to be really busted. We'll have to wait and see if it ends up that way, but I think it's going to be incredibly powerful. But yeah, that's the list, guys. I'm really excited to get into it, so I kind of want to jump right in. And the list will definitely is kind of, you know, simplistic, if, you know, for lack of better phrasing. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to the channel members really quickly. Thank you guys so much for, you know, the support and like kind of just backing the channel and stuff like that. It really does mean a lot. You know, for everybody else, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. You know, become a member if you want. And yeah, definitely I'm going to be looking to get out as much new Stellar Crown content as possible. So be sure to let me know what cards you want to see covered next, and so I can prioritize those and things like that. Be sure to join the community Discord. It'll be in the description if you're interested. We do Discord tournaments and all that kind of stuff there, so that'll be back soon. I've just been a little bit too busy to run those, but that'll be back soon. And then also, if you're interested in the deck list, it'll be down in the description as well if you want to copy that over. But yeah, that's about it for me, so I will see you guys all in game 1 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and we're going to be going first. We are going to mulligan here, but that's okay. Our opponent is as well. We are going to mulligan again, but again, still fine with us. Ooh, we're up against Hydrapple. That's fun. I'm really excited to play Hydrapple as well. But if we can get into like a turn 2 Galvantula, we'll be in a really good position. Especially against Hydrapple, which is going to require a lot of item cards to like really get going. So what we're gonna do here is we can go Joltik in the active, and I'm gonna go double Chansey pass turn, Because realistically, we shouldn't get attacked on turn 1. So we'll draw for turn. We get Mew. I'm not really too worried about that. What I'm going to do is go Ultra Ball, get rid of the Glass Trumpet and the Mew EX to grab myself the... I'm going to go Squawkabilly real quick. Grab that. Nest Ball out, another Joltik. I'm going to drop the Carmine. Attach. And I ironically don't want to Squawkabilly now. Because I already have, like, kind of some of the pieces I'm going to need. I could make an aggressive play, but I think it's better to not. But we'll see. I mean, I'll have an Iono, get myself a whole new set of 6. And then one of the other things, too, that will work out in my favor is that I can still use the Charge Web attack on my next turn, which will knock out any of the Teal Mask Ogerpon that they have in the active. Again, our Joltik is probably safe unless they get, like, an energy switch. Which I don't think they're going to, like, prioritize trying to knock out the Joltik. And if they don't, I also have the option that I can go with the Jolting Charge attack, which is really, really powerful. What it'll let me do is search my deck for pretty much 4 energy, because it lets you search for 2 grass and 2 electric energy, and put them on your Pokemon any way you like, which means I can power up Joltik, I can throw some energy onto the Blissey for later. So it gives me a lot of options. There's the bug catching set. They do get 2 more energy. There's a second bug catching set. Energy onto the Teal Mask. There's going to be another energy onto the other one. I'm really excited for Hydrapple. Alright, so they pass the turn, so at bare minimum we can knock out this Ogerpon in the active. We do get ourselves the Earthen Vessel, which is nice. We'll go ahead and evolve here. We can evolve. We'll go ahead and Earthen Vessel. We'll grab ourselves a Grass and a Fighting Energy. We'll attach... Yeah, we'll just go Grass. And then we'll Iono here. If we can get ourselves into our last energy, that would be super ideal. We probably won't be able to. Alright. We're going to play it like this. We'll go Buddy Poffin. Fail that just to get it out of our hand. We can drop down the Bidoof for next turn to get ourselves into a barrel later on. We do have the Ultra Ball as well. So for right now, we're just going to go Charged Web. Knocking those out. We'll take 2 prizes. Okay, cool. So now we have our Crystal, we have our Trumpet. We're good to go. So we can start item locking on the next turn. So if they don't get too... Like, if they don't get too strong here, we're in a great spot. We also, like, one of the other benefits as well is the fact that we can just go Charged Web over and over, and it's going to be enough to knock out the Ogerpons. Which is kind of in our favor. One of the hardest parts about Hydrapple is the fact that it's a stage 3, and it just takes a very long time to power up, which is going to be kind of to its detriment. So depending on what we draw here, we can either place down the Powerglass onto the Galvantula and go ahead, get ourselves the last energy, and start kind of going for an item lock. We see them retreat, bring in Hydrapple. Okay, so like that's not the play. Because yes, we can knock this out, and like we can't really do anything about this, but now it's the fact that we can start item locking. What we're going to be able to do is play down the Sparkling Crystal. We can go Ultra Ball. We can get rid of this, and honestly, we can even get rid of the Iono at this point, because we don't want to reshuffle their hand anyway. We can grab ourselves Bibarel, place that down. Then what we can do is go Trumpet, or sorry, the Powerglass down onto the Joltik. And Scizors, draw ourselves a couple cards. We get our new Joltik, or Galvantula. We can Arven here. We'll grab ourselves an Earthen Vessel, and that'll be it for now. So now what we'll be able to do is we can go for the item lock. We discard the energies, but that's totally fine. We put it in range that it will two-shot it. They don't have any real cards in their hand. There's not going to be a way that they're able to retreat that. Yep. We'll Heavy Ball, see if we find anything cool. We get ourselves one of the Joltik. Let's see what else is in there. Nothing too important. Now what we're able to do, though, is we can go Glass Trumpet. Attach to our cards there. Then what we can do is go for this. We'll dump the Greninja. Grab ourselves a Fighting Energy. And yeah, we'll just grab the one Fighting Energy for now. Because now what we can do is go Happy Switch. Move the energy from here. Place that down. And then what we'll be able to do is Bibarel. Cool, got ourselves a couple more cards. We can Arven. We'll Arven for an Ultra Ball. And the Powerglass. Because we already have the energy in our hand, so we don't really need the Trumpet again. At least not for right now. We can hold off on the Ultra Ball, and we'll be able to reapply the item lock. We have an energy on board that we can Happy Switch to, and we also have energy in hand, so we're going to be able to keep that item lock going on the next turn. We don't have any energy attached to our Galvantula, so the Ogerpon won't be able to one-shot it. And then what we can do is literally just attaching a single energy will allow us to go for the Charge Web, which is going to be enough to knock out the Ogerpon. And we only have 2 prize cards remaining, so it doesn't really matter if we keep up the item lock at this point. And that's going to be the FF from our opponent. So, good game 1. Our opponent kind of overextended themselves, but that's one of the other benefits of something like Galvantula, and something that I really like about it is the fact that it is very different than something like Banette or something like Venomoth, where it hits for a lot more damage when you're applying the item lock, but also because of the fact that it has the Charged Web attack, it is versatile enough that even if you can't set up the item lock right away, or you're kind of not in need of it anymore, you can still one-shot things like Ogerpon, which is really common in a ton of decks. You hit for weakness and on a lot of Pokemon like Pidgeot, so you're going to be doing plenty of damage in order to knock those out regularly, like even without without needing the item lock. And you can do it for a single energy if you have the crystal, like the Sparkling Crystal available. So it's just, I think it's way more versatile and it's really good. But that's going to be game number 1, and I'll see you guys in game number 2 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're in game number 2. We're going to be going first because we won the coin flip. We open up our Bidoof and not too much else, to be honest. Our opponent is going to mulligan. We see the Scizor, which is fine by us. We get the Nest Ball and the Ultra Ball, as well as our Galvantula. So we'll Nest Ball here. We'll go Radiant Greninja. Concealed cards. Get ourselves some more pieces. That's not too bad. We'll go Ultra Ball here. We'll get rid of the Night Stretcher and 1 Trumpet to grab ourselves our Joltik, so that way we can evolve that on the following turn. We'll place that down and pass. Because on the next turn we can go for the Sparkling Crystal. Like, we can attach that onto the Joltik. We can Earthen Vessel away whatever the top card we draw is. We can place down Bibarel, place down Galvantula, attach the energy, and try to dig for an Arven to get us a switch. Move in and start attacking with the Charged Web to knock out the Metang that'll be in the active soon enough. There's an argument to be made that I could have Earthen Vesseled on the last turn to make sure that I have an energy attached to the Joltik, but there's nothing I really want to discard. I don't want to give up a second Glass Trumpet so early. So I can't really, like, afford to do that just yet. There's a river room. Interesting. So I'm going to gather the crew. I assume this is just going to be for either a Scyther or, yeah. Oh, and a second river room. I assumed it was going to be for a Beldum. Okay, I mean, we get the Arven, so that works out. So we can go ahead and play that down. We will attach the Glass Crystal. We'll go Arven, get ourselves a Switch and a Powerglass. We can play the Switch down, bring in Galvantula. We'll go ahead and Earthen Vessel, get rid of the Powerglass, grab ourselves an Electric and a Grass Energy, slap down the Electric Energy. We'll go Industrious Incisors first. That's fine by me. We can go ahead and Concealed cards. We'll get rid of the Fighting Energy, where we do get ourselves a Chansey. We have a lot of energy. We can go Charged Web here. And attach 1. There's a Squawkabilly, something we don't really want. One of the benefits that we will have here, though, is the fact that we can start the item lock on our next turn because we have the crystal, which will help us out a little bit. But our hand is mostly energy, so we're probably going to go attach, or we'll use Greninja to discard one of the electric energy and try to, like, unbrick our hand. We just have to be careful at this point of... that's annoying. I mean, it's still okay if we can get ourselves into Blissey, because we can get the Blissey, we can go for the Glass Trumpet. Use the Glass Trumpet to place the energy, move them, and go like that way. Oh, perfect. So we'll go Blissey. We'll concealed cards first. Get rid of the electric energy. That also works out. So we'll go Turo scenario, pick these up. Kind of a lucky turn, honestly. We can place down the Bidoof. We'll go Grass Energy here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just attach, or sorry, we'll go ahead and start the item lock. Our opponent doesn't really have anything right now, so we'll be in a pretty good position. They have Metang, so they can get powered up that way. They shouldn't be able to one-shot us or anything like that, so we'll be fine. Even if they go Steel Wing here and take 50 less damage, we'll still be able to get the KO, so that's not really a problem. That's also okay for us, because what we can do from here is we'll go Glass Trumpet, attach that there. Then what we can do is manually attach the Grass Energy. We'll retreat this out, bring this back in. Then what we can do is re-evolve here. We'll be able to go for the Happy Switch, move the energy over. We'll draw one. We get ourselves another Chansey, which is nice. We can place that down. I would love to find another Joltik, but right now that's just not really an option for us. But what we can do from here, unfortunately we won't keep up the item lock, but that's kind of okay. We can go for the Charged Web and get the KO. Grab ourselves 2 more prizes, where we get ourselves another Fighting Energy, which will allow us to keep up the item lock on our following turn. And like that's one of the other things. So perfect. So like that's one of the other things too with like Galvantula and why it's so powerful is like you have the option to attack regularly, but then you also have the option to like on a random turn completely stop your opponent from being able to play the game enough for you to like kind of do what you want at any point in the game. I think that's one of the things that makes it so powerful. Obviously, our opponent's deck was not very good in that game, but it's definitely kind of just still shows how powerful the deck can be. But yeah, we're going to jump into game number 3 in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and our opponent's going first. We are going to mulligan here, but that's fine by us. Mostly because, like, if that was a Chansey anyway, there's probably not much we were going to be able to do. We get ourselves a double Joltik, a Greninja, and a Bidoof, which is pretty good. We'll go ahead and we'll attach the energy though. We'll probably hold on to the Greninja usage for later. We see another Beldum. Man, I love when a new set comes out and everybody just gets experimental. Though I'm surprised, we saw Hydrapple, which is a new, you know, like a new card. But then 2 kind of experimental metal decks in a row, which is kind of interesting to me. Okay, so Dialga. Attach onto the Beldum, retreat that out, bring in Dialga. Makes sense. Seems like... Okay. Powerglass, good play, good play. So they're gonna pass their turn. We see another Glass Trumpet. We're going to attach the energy to the Joltik, play down the Bidoof, and go ahead and Iono. It could help them, but again, we kind of need to get ourselves in a stronger position here overall. So what we can do though is we don't really need the rest of this, so we can play this down. We'll go ahead and squawk real quick. We do get ourselves a Chansey as well, which is nice, and we'll be able to go concealed cards here, get rid of the fighting energy, get ourselves a couple more cards, none of which what we like really wanted, but we can go Jolting Charge, grab 2 energies, and attach them to our Joltik in the back, and kind of go from there. We'll be able to draw ourselves a couple cards with Greninja on the next turn and see what we're able to find. Obviously, we want to be able to get into our Galvantula as soon as possible. Interesting that they played down the Toxagiri, since that it's not like really going to do anything because they don't really want to remove their Dialga from the active. Getting into an Arven here would be pretty nice. The Iono's also fine with us. Well, that's fantastic. that works out great. Because on our next turn, we can Ultra Ball, grab ourselves our Galvantula, we can drop the Blissey EX down, and then we can evolve into our Galvantula EX, we can place down the Crystal, start our item lock, and go from there. So we'll slap down the Blissey, we'll slap down the Crystal, we can go Ultra Ball, get rid of the Buddy Poffin and the Mew at this point. We don't need either one of those. Grab ourselves our Galvantula, evolve that. We can then Happy Switch, move the Grass Energy over, and start our item lock. And then we'll be able to knock it out on the next turn by Happy Switching over. I mean, that's also fine. They attract customers for a potential supporter. It's a boss's orders. Are we going to get boss trapped again? That is so annoying. That has happened 3 games in a row. And like, it doesn't even impede us that much, in fairness. Granted, we just got pretty lucky with like drawing the Arven like that, but still, it's like it doesn't even impede us that much. We'll grab the Switch and the Powerglass. We'll go Switch, bring the Galvantula back in. We'll Glass Trumpet, throw that down, and we'll throw this down. Then what we can do is Happy Switch, move the electric energy onto the Galvantula, which will allow us to Charged Web and knock out the Toxagiri, which isn't exactly what we want. We'd love to keep up the item lock, but it's okay. We get ourselves another electric energy. They will have access to items, obviously, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm fairly confident we won't be knocked out this turn because of the fact that they don't even have Metangs yet. Yeah, they don't even have anything they can even, like, really do. So, we'll go ahead and go Concealed Cards with Greninja. We're not really finding anything. We've gotten pretty unlucky with our hands. 2 of our Garvantulas are prized. That's dangerous. How many energy do we have in the discard pile, too? So, we'll go Trumpet here. We're 1 and 1. We'll throw down the Powerglass. We will Happy Switch to move a Grass Energy. And we'll go Charged Web here to get the KO. Grab ourselves 2 prizes because we need to make sure we're getting a new Garvantula, which we are able to do, and we also get our Bibarel, which is really, really big for us. One of the other benefits right now is that, let's say they bring, okay, so I was going to say, let's say they bring this in, right? And they are able to evolve it, and they do a crazy play where they get, like, double Metang here, and they're able to knock out our Garvantula. It doesn't really matter, because we can place a new one down. In this case, we also get Bibarel. Yeah, our opponent's going to concede. But what I was going to say is, even if we couldn't, we had enough energy prepared that even though our hand's low and stuff like that, we could actually bring Blissey in, attack with that, redraw a hand to 6, and get the KO. So we were in a really good spot. We both got a little bit unlucky. Our hands kind of bricked a little bit, but we were able to pull it out. We were able to kind of, again, keep them locked and go from there. So that's going to be game number 3. Weird that we ran into double, like, metal decks today, but, you know, new set, everybody's getting a little experimental. I'm very curious to see where Garvantula goes. Obviously, it's like day 1 of the new sets, so there's a lot to be explored and changed, but definitely let me know what you guys think of the list, any changes that you would make, all that kind of stuff. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It really does help a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like I said, be sure to let me know what you want to see in the next video, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.